had a few really cold nights and days, and as you can see, the local canal has frozen over, not enough to stand on. Doesn't get that cold, it'll be about -5, -8 at night. We are forecast 50-50 chance of snow in the next couple of days. So we'll wait and see if that happens, but I thought I'd get out and photograph the canal, as you don't usually see it. Not very often anyway. Our winters can be quite mild. But let's have a look and see if we can find anything. I've got my 75-300 lens on, so I can zoom in on anything from a distance because of the angles. Some of the angles you would ideally want to be the other side or in the middle of the canal even, but that's not possible. So having this longer lens actually helps do it from a distance where I can get those angles. Anyway, let's take a wander and see what we can find. Might be some details like this on the edge of the boat. Just kind of thinking, I don't know if these will be colour images when I've finished, or whether I might go black and white, because in this weather sometimes black and white looks quite nice. Brain fog is really struggling at the moment, so may or may not do pieces to camera. It might be when I get back home and start compiling the video. Trying to see if, let's have a look. Actually, yeah, so slightly overexposing this to show the white. I don't know if you can see that, but I'll put it on the screen to line up with the video. Morning. I think really today is about details and seeing if we can bring those details out. Actually, if I line this shot up and wait for a second, we'll get the dog walker that we just passed going into the shot. And it's actually starting to snow, which gives us some more potential for shots. If this gets heavy, there might be some flash photography potential. Yeah, the snow's starting to have an effect on the image, which is nice. And I don't know what this is all about, but one of the things I'm going to plan to do this year is just shoot stuff for the sake of it. So this basket sitting on the ice, if I want more context there, I'll zoom in a bit closer. No, there's a saucepan there as well. There's not quite enough snow for it to really show on things at the moment. I'm trying to bring out that detail in the shots. So it's either a wider shot with the canal or zooming right in, which is why I'm using this lens. I said before, it's one of my favourite lenses to go out with, but it's not the lightest to carry when you're fibro and everything's playing up, which it definitely is lately. But with all of the items on the top of boats and things, you can sometimes get some detailed shots or some interesting shots. Like this case on top of this boat. Like that. Quite interesting. It's about seeing details. Actually, that's quite nice. Love the way people decorate their boats for various things. So I'm shooting at f8, I'm letting the ISO work itself out. Frost covered Buddha on that boat, maybe a closer one. Those of you that have watched my channel previously will know that spirituality and Buddhism in particular is a personal interest. When I posted a video earlier, well, I can't remember what it was, May or June time I think, of a walk along the canal, somebody friend in the US, fibro friend, asked if these are boats people live on that they'd read about in novels, and yes they are. People do live on these boats, they work on these boats, some of them, and it's a nice resource to have, to be able to sort of get away from. I know I like my street photography, there's been a lot of videos of that in my first year on YouTube, getting out to make the most of events, but it's nice to have this where I can just go for a walk and chill out. And I think this year I'm just going to be trying to, whereas last year was making the most of the events, I'll still do that as much as my health allows, but also looking at details, just shooting random things. I may do or may have already done a video on that with some examples of some shots that I've taken with my phone while I've been out and about. Now I have a better phone, better quality images. Just shooting random things, capturing details that are around us. So we're walking along the canal now, out of Leighton Buzzard towards the outskirts, and just over here, if you can see me pointing in front of us, is Tiddenfoot Waterside Park that I've shown you before. I wonder if I can bring out the frost on that light. Hope you can hear me, there's a helicopter going over. Yeah, that's quite nice. See this, there's a heart painted as part of the design on the boat, covered in frost, but you can just see the heart shape coming through with the gold border on it. Nice, I like that. This is quite a nice shot with the smoke. I love the smell of these wood burners, reminds me of camping as a kid in the Scouts, Cubs. And I'll line this up just so, and just see if I can get a nice detail of that smoke rising. also just shooting what I'm calling random stuff is it's not to worry too much about the composition. It's just capturing, well, of course I'm trying to make something of the shot, but here we go, not being too precious. I've been trying to create a lot of creative stuff. That's me as a person. Wanted to be creative and put some nice work out, but I think also just capturing moments might amount to something. Do a landscape orientation as well. Just waiting for the smoke to be in the right. But yeah, just not being too precious about creating something spectacular for me, sort of as creative as I might have done in the past. When I've been using this for past, well, it's over 6 years now, to cope with fibro and get me out and about. It's done me a lot of good health wise, but also you have to keep refreshing your creativity and what you're looking for, or what you choose to photograph. Keep things fresh. Having that conversation with others recently, if you're feeling a bit flat, just pick up your camera, go out anyway. I think what I'll do before I go into the lake, I'm going to take a little wander further along the canal, which I don't think I've shown you before, and just see if there's anything. I feel like I've got a little bit of energy in me today. I know my limits, but I don't have to go all the way around the lake. I just do part of it, see how frozen that is. I'm trying to work out how much of the canal is quite nice. I'll bring that down. We can get some more smoke. There's actually someone going to walk past with their dog, which would create a nice, in a blue coat. The owner, not the dog. The dog's actually, I think, in orange. Be nice opposing colours. Hopefully we've got a nice puff of, there's two dogs, puff of smoke as they go past. Yeah, that's not bad. Trouble is, every time I stop, I will explain more fully in another video, but an MRI has highlighted there is a physical issue in my spine where the nerves, as they come out of the spinal column, are being touched by the bones in all of my lower spine and my neck. So every time I stop, they start seizing up instantly. So movement is good, but then I've got the fatigue, it's causing pain in my hips. So it's just trying to get the balance right, but I'd rather be out here than sitting in pain on the sofa or at my desk trying to use the computer, because this is now also creates more impact on my cognitive function. So anyway, back to photography. We've got a leading line here of the edge of the canal. There used to be a bridge that went over here, which is White Narrows. The stone blocks are in Tinfoot, but we've got a leading line here, and with the bridge I'm just wondering if I can create something. I might need to be a bit further back with this lens, so let's give that a try. It might be worth including the buoy that's here as well, that's been left. Now actually, that leading line without the buoy, might get the shot with the buoy as we go further back. Yeah, that's quite nice. Yeah, that shows the scene that I'm seeing. Right, so we're going to have someone in the shot in a moment, which will have a nice bit of interest. Unfortunately not in a bright colour, so I've got to time this right so that they're not disappearing. There we go. Maybe another one. No, it's going to be too dark. We got one. Now we get a cyclist going across the bridge and I'm not... I'll take a shot. It might be in focus. Yep, might get both of them. Yeah, I have. Just the runner is in a dark patch beyond him of the bushes. Don't know if that'll work. Oh, it's another runner coming in a pink top. Perfect. Actually, this will complement the buoy quite nicely, and this lady will show a bit clearer in the image. Now, one thing you might be able to see here, he says looking down, is, get my fingers out the way of the screen, of the lens, is railway tracks. And these are from the narrow gauge railway that you'll have seen in a couple of my other videos. This is the wharf where they used to come across. So the railway is over in this direction somewhere. And they used to come across and they'd offload the sand from the sand quarries here. I've taken some shots here in the past, but nothing that I've ever sort of felt really happy with. Oh, that's quite nice. I like that. With these trees and details here and the colours and the boat opposite, that's quite nice. I might do one from further back. Actually, I know I will. Okay. Just to get a bit more of the... and might crop it to... No, actually I won't. I think that's quite nice, with the sky not being too bright. Maybe bring that down there. Yeah, we've got a bit more of the left-hand side. Foliage and reeds, trees. That's quite nice, actually. I like that shot. That's very wintry scene. You can hear and probably see, I've got you on wide on my phone. There's the relief road that goes around Leighton Buzzard. The bridge here. Not sure there's too much here too many shots, to be honest. Nothing's catching my eye. Maybe the swan's standing on the ice under this bridge. Might be a shot. There's also some logs there. I wonder. Zoom in on those. Now, here we go. Here's something of, not sure how much you'll hear me now that I'm nearer the road. I like this scene here. Yeah, that sign is, well, that's nice. Yeah, see if I can get that sign with the Buddha head. You can see this. There's a few Buddhas here with this boat and this please slow down sign. So I'm wondering if, yeah, we can get both. In the image. Now I'm here, the swans are decided to go for a swim in the only bit of water that's left. Let's see. Not a great deal of separation there. Might work. I need to try and find an angle or wait for them to move to get some separation between the three, if possible. Here we go. This would work better. Time. Don't rush. Yeah, it's a record. Well, that snow is coming down now. Here we are, heading out to the countryside. And this is where I will finish this video. If I get any more shots, or what other shots I get, I will share them with you now.